Welcome back to the Coach Dad podcast. Today, we're talking about one of the toughest and most important parts of sports, the mental game. Physical talent can take you far, but it's courage, perseverance, and mindset that carries athletes through storms, setbacks, and moments of fear. In this episode, Coach Dad opens up about lessons he learned from his parents, the powerful buffalo and cow metaphor, and how pushing through pain and fear is just as important as lifting weights or running drills. If you're a parent, a player, or a coach, you'll walk away from this conversation with tools to face obstacles head on and see them through. Good morning, Coach Dad.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm well. Yourself?
I am doing fantastic. Happy to be sitting with you again for episode 4. Cannot believe we're at episode 4, but I'm so happy.
Yes.
So before we get into any of the questions,
Okay.
I wanted to just say that you and I had a very exciting moment yesterday.
Proud parent moment.
Proud parent moment. Oh, do you want to share it?
We have two boys that play for the Oregon Ducks.
Go Ducks.
And they both were on the field at the same time yesterday, and they both had a tackle. And so, it's one of those things that are once in a lifetime opportunities, especially, at a place like Oregon. And so to see them both on the field at the same time was
such a moment. We
such
were
a moment, yeah.
just cheering and screaming at home. And I think the only real person that knows how difficult this process, this journey has been is you. So to be able to share that with you,
Yeah.
whew, that was an emotional experience for me, and such a proud parent moment because it's like all this work, it meant something.
Yes.
Every trial, it meant something. And thank you so much to the Duck fans. We love you. And to the coaching staff, just for taking care of our boys. Like, God bless you. All right, let's get into it. I just wanted to get that off my chest. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to go straight to the first question here. So Coach Dad, you've said that courage doesn't mean we don't feel fear. It means we don't let fear have us. Can you talk about how you learned that lesson?
So, yeah, we talk about having all these sayings.
Isms, yep.
Yes, all these isms. Having courage doesn't mean you don't feel fear or you don't have fear, but you don't let fear have you. And what that means is it's natural to be afraid, to be anxious in the moment. But part of being courageous is being able to face that fear head on. One of the things that I learned from my mom, that valuable lesson early on, is to be able to press forward while crying. Press forward while crying. And what that means is it's going to hurt sometimes. It's going to suck. You're going to have some of the biggest disappointments. But can you press forward even though you're hurting? Can you keep going even though you've had a loss or you've had a letdown or you made a grave mistake? What coaches are looking for is those who can get up and wipe that slate clean and keep it moving. Can they do it while crying? Can they keep going and not shrink in the moment? One of the things for my mom is she had two parents who never finished the third grade. They had to pick up work early on in their lives. They came from Georgia, from the country. They worked fields, they worked homes cleaning, and my grandfather had to start his own business, and all those different things taught them how to persevere. And so as my mom was trying to go through nursing school, she failed many times. She didn't have any supports. She was a single mom trying to figure it out in the Deep South. And her perseverance, as she came home after failing a test or having to retake a class, she said, crying, "You got to make it. You gotta be better than me. You got to keep going." And she eventually hit her goal and became a nurse and was a nurse for 40 years. And that was such a blessing to me and a lesson to me that even if it hurts, even if I fall, even if I stumble, even if I make a mistake, I won't die here. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to keep going. And It takes me to the example that you um, will get to at some point,
I was
but
going to say,
the
you're taking my
story,
question.
yeah, the story of the cows and the buffalo.
All right. That's a very nice segue to my next
Okay.
question. That's actually really moving what you said about your mom, because just knowing her and just knowing like how strong she is and how loving and how giving she is and how she put that lesson in you at such a young age. There's so much evidence in your personality that you're the type of person that I won't die here. Like that's literally the mantra of your life.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my question that you so kindly prepared for me. uh, you often use the buffalo and cow metaphor to explain how athletes face storms. Can you break that down for us? Like, how do you connect that picture to faith and perseverance?
Okay. The metaphor about the cows and the buffalo. When a storm approaches, cows sense it and tend to run away because the storm moves faster than they do. They end up staying in the rain longer, suffering longer, because running from it will not save you. And it reminds me of a poem. Those of you who may not know, I'm a member of the mighty Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. In a poem we learn online called See It Through. And when you're up against the trouble, you meet it squarely face to face. You lift your chin, you set your shoulders, you plant your feet and take a brace. Because when it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fail, but you may conquer, see it through. And so the buffalo capture that by walking straight into it. They walk straight into the storm. And as a result, they're in it, rather, they're in it less. And the storm ends up passing over them. But they don't run from their fears. They don't run from trouble. They walk to it. And as a result, they come out victorious in the end. And so, what we try to teach our boys is the only way through is
Is through
through,
it.
is to face that storm head on, walk into it, because running from it will not save you.
Right. I mean, that's actually been something that I have adopted since we've been married.
Mm.
You know, when tough times come, the only way through it is through it. And we're going to walk through it.
Yeah.
And I think an important thing about that is when you're walking through a storm, when you're walking through a tough time, you still have your support system.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going through a tough time, I know you got my back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the boys, with Michelle, you know, with the kiddos, whenever they're going through a tough time or an arduous time or a challenging time, you know, let's say in their sport, since that's the context of our podcast, we got your back.
Yeah.
We're here. You're not going through it alone.
Mm-hmm. You know, the piece that I want to get to, because what often cripples athletes is the shame that they feel from being fearful
Interesting.
and
Okay.
having to face the fact that I'm afraid in the moment.
Mm.
But that first reaction is not an indication of the
Of the
condition
condition of their heart.
heart.
You know what, guys? We're going to
That-
have a whole t-shirt line of these
of
sayings. I'm
yeah.
telling you. That's very true, though.
What
Say
that
that.
mean?
Say that again.
Your first reaction is not an indication of the condition of your heart. And what that means is just because I was fearful in the moment doesn't mean I'm not willing to face it.
Period.
Doesn't mean I won't do it while crying.
Oh my God.
So one of the things my father taught me is how to dry up those tears and think through the process.
Right.
How do I get through this thing? How do I figure out what's actually happening? What's the actual danger? Because if I do a critical assessment, I'll find out there's no physical thing that has happened to me.
Right.
I had a momentary setback. And so now I get to the lesson, the saying, the barking dog behind the fence.
Which we're going to get into. But I want to say something about, you just brought up your dad, and I want to say something about him because he, for me, represents the epitome of wisdom.
Well, you know, he would tell you that those came from, again, humble roots of an uncle that raised him who couldn't read or write, who signed his name with an X, who traveled from Georgia to Washington, picking fruit, picking apples, sending money back home to take care of his family, and having little tidbits to share with him along the way, little tidbits of wisdom, tidbits that he got from his mom
Right.
as well. His mom was sick when he was little and had to give him up to his aunt and uncle to raise while she tried to figure out how she was going to survive the illness that she was going through. She had tuberculosis at the time, and try to raise, her daughter, her young daughter at the time. But all those tidbits of wisdom came out of hardship,
Right.
came out of life lessons that he had to learn on the fly. And as a result of overcoming these things, he had the wisdom to share with me so that I didn't have to repeat some of those things.
That's so awesome. I love whenever you're having conversations with him in the morning, it just makes my heart so happy.
Yeah.
All right. So you talked about a barking dog. Let's get into that because we got a lot of metaphors we got to get through here. So you've compared fear to a barking dog behind a fence.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds scary, but it can't actually touch you. How does that picture help athletes push through the fear of failure, fear of injury, or the fear of pressure?
You ever see a game where the team is down and players start to quit?
Like mentally quit?
Mentally
Yes.
quit. They're afraid because they see the threats as insurmountable. Like they can't get past it. They can't get over it. They can't make up the slack from whatever deficit that they're in. And as a result, they're giving up. But no physical thing has happened to them. All they got to do is keep pressing because the dog can't hurt them. What you still here, you haven't died.
Right.
Why quit?
Why quit?
Why tap out here? Why stop now? Just because you've had a setback, just because you've made a mistake, don't shut down.
No.
Don't give up.
But that's, okay.
It's just a barking dog behind the fence. It can't hurt you. It's only the threat that causes the fear. There's no physical thing restricting you. Go ahead.
How though, and I'm not an athlete, everybody, but how in that moment do you take hold of your emotions to not be afraid of the barking dog?
So one of the things that we talk about with the boys is divorcing yourself from your emotions.
That's right.
How do you divorce yourself from your emotions? You deal with the fact that I'm feeling this. It's a real thing that I'm feeling, but the threat's not real.
The threat's not real.
And I take you to the movie The Matrix. He has that lesson about the spoon, and he realized there is no spoon.
There is no.
So he doesn't have any limitations. There is no spoon. This threat can't hurt you. It's behind the fence.
It's just a threat.
It's just a threat.
That's a great
Keep
analogy.
pressing, keep fighting, keep going. Because the only way through is through.
The only way through is through.
Maybe that's a shirt.
Yeah, it is a shirt. What? I got to write all these down. Okay, so you've told athletes your first reaction, which we just talked about, isn't an indication of the condition of your heart.
Right.
Sometimes the first thought is, I want to quit. But perseverance means you see it through. Mm-hmm. Can you share the story about Michelle and the spikes and what that moment taught about the cost of quitting too soon?
So, Michelle had trained for 30 days for this meet. And here we are, we're getting ready to go out and compete. And she wanted these brand new spikes. We got her the spikes. But somewhere on TikTok or Instagram or wherever on social media, she saw that, you know what, you're actually supposed to not wear socks with these. I said, I don't think that's a good idea because those are brand new shoes and you're going to rub your feet raw. Oh, no, Dad, I'm telling you, okay. So sure enough, after the first race, she's got blisters.
Big blisters.
Because she's had to warm up. She's had to run around in these things and she's got nothing to protect her heels from rubbing against the heel of these shoes.
Right.
And so now she's crying, talking about, I can't run anymore. I can't do it. No. We're going to face this. It's painful, but we didn't train for 30 days for you to give up.
Right.
Because you're hurting a little bit. You're not going to die because your feet are hurting. We're going to press through this. And what she learned in that instant, after she won the rest of the races, was even though I was feeling discomfort, it wasn't killing me.
Right.
And I can press through this and still get to the victory that I've worked for and not just tap out at the first sign of rain, not just tap out because my feet are hurting, not just tap out. And
Talk about how that
without
race went, please.
well, she won. She won, but the lesson that she got from that was pain, discomfort. Sometimes they're going to be a part of it.
It's a distraction.
It's a distraction, but I'm going to keep pressing to get to my goal because my goal is bigger than the pain in the moment. And as a result, she ended up, building up and going on to win the national championship and so forth, so on. And those who were at the track meet, they remember her crying. They were like, "Oh, the mean dad is making her run." Yeah, she's gonna get out there and run
She's going to run.
because we won't die here.
That's right. Well, let me ask you one more question before we wrap up.
Okay.
As a dad and a coach, how do you balance showing grace when athletes stumble while still holding them accountable to press forward and finish the race?
So a part of holding grace is acknowledging that their pain is real,
Yes.
acknowledging that their fear is real, acknowledging those things, but then explaining or helping or coaching them through the fact that that shouldn't be a barrier to your goal.
Okay.
Even though it's painful. We
Right.
talked about embracing the suck.
Yeah.
Even though it's daunting. It's you don't think you can get through it. You're going to have to face that head on because we're trying to get to the promised land, if you will. We're trying to get to that victory. We're trying to get to the other side. And the only way through it is through it. You got to be the buffalo and walk towards it and not run away from it.
Right.
Because you're only making your process longer. Face it.
Face it.
Face it head on and get through this.
Yes. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us. Fear, storms, barking dogs, blisters, whatever the challenge looks like, the lesson is the same. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's pressing forward through it. As Coach Dad shared, perseverance is costly, but so is quitting. And when we face storms head on, like the buffalo, we come out stronger, wiser, and better prepared for the next challenge. Thanks for joining us for episode 4 of the Coach Dad podcast. If this conversation encouraged you, share it with another parent or athlete or coach who needs it today. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We'd love to hear how you or your athlete are learning to press forward through tough moments. Until next time, remember, discipline over motivation, courage over fear, and always see it through.